So we're back. Pretty different approaches to deck buildings. Let's get right into the games. Let's see just how effective some of these are. Some of my thoughts is, I mean, a lot of these decks are going to have a lot of minions shared between them. But what's going to be really interesting is to see how strong each of the classes are. Because I think what's different in this Challengestone compared to maybe the last two is that picking the specific classes is, so much more important. Because, it does seem like some classes do stand quite a bit above the rest. So here
And
we
this,
have,
there's like a lot of cards that you will never ever see.
oh yeah, of course.
Like, apparently Frost Elemental will be a popular minion in this format.
Frost Elemental's a pretty good card in Arena, actually.
Still?
Yeah, it's kind of like Lothar, right? So if they have tempo on the board, you just steal it for one turn. It's true, it's not bad.
And I don't know if I spoil it, but I think he plays a Stormpike Commando. Is that like really one of the top minions in this format, Stormpike Commando?
Well, you did mention how it's very difficult to remove some of the minions.
Yeah.
Some of these minions that have like active removal might be pretty good. Right now we're seeing Priest versus Paladin. The Priest deck so far seems pretty standard, kind of what you'd expect.
Yeah.
I do like the double Temple Enforcer from Lothar included in the deck. I mean, Temple Enforcer is just like a totally secure board position when played in Arena. So he's kind of looking for that to win the game. The Velen's Chosen, again, really, really big. Huge advantage immediately.
And it really looks like Priest, as you mentioned earlier, has like the least shitty cards
Yeah.
to put in the deck, so this might, yeah, show later in the tournament. Yeah, but Aldo Peacekeeper is a pretty sick card.
And
Like-
Humility is not bad either, right?
Yeah, like Aldo, in my opinion, Aldo Peacekeeper is the strongest free drop in the game. There's a lot of strong free drops, but in my opinion, just because it scales so well into late game, there's no free drop that scales as good as Aldo Peacekeeper.
Oh man, he could actually kill that with a Holy Smite and then heal it with the Earthen Ring Farseer, but he chooses to use the Dark Iron Dwarf. I mean, it's such an interesting game. Often you kind of see some of this in Arena, but even then, while these cards seem pretty bad and constructed here, these cards are actually considered pretty premium there. So they're not bad. A lot of it has to do with like win more cards, and that's why I think cards like Stormpike Commando maybe seem a little bit underrated.
Yeah, also like Blessing of Wisdom is kind of like a removal in Arena, sort of sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they will never attack with the minion.
Yeah.
And
Well, they
the
might
humility,
sometimes, but it's unlikely.
like humility, yeah, Humility Wisdom is like a hard removal, sort of. The combo.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, not much of a play from Lothar's turn 5. Not many options there. The priest is just looking to stall out the game. Lothar playing Alistraza, 2 Temple Enforcers, and Mind Control. It is likely that he's going to win the game if he just keeps up on board until the very late game.
How many one drops are available with this format? Just Abusive Sergeant?
You can use Abusive Sergeant, you can use Elven Archer, you can
Oh,
use Voodoo Doctor,
Oh,
you can use Hungry Crab.
isn't like Voodoo Doctor way on the bottom on the arena list?
Yeah, some of these cards are not so great. But Abusive Sergeant is good, Elven Archer is good. Yeah.
Yeah, but Abusive Sergeant is only good if you have something to buff. Like, I don't know if I would put it in the deck if all the cards are like pretty crappy or like.
Well, right, but you kind of have to see what your opponent is also playing. So if your opponent also has no 1-drops, Abusive Sergeant does really well against the Battlecry 2-drops. Like, what Battlecry 2-drop is a 2/3 minion? I think they're all 3/2 minions, right?
Wow, that's a pretty crazy Shadow Madness here.
Yeah. Shadow Man is very, very strong. Jondo is a little bit behind here, but his cards are pretty heavy. Unfortunately, Mind Control will probably take one of them.
And really, he's really saving those wisdoms for like when he absolutely needs it.
Yeah, well,
Like right now, like he has no answer for the Farseer, so
yeah, and
gonna
it's
have.
not worth it for Lothar to spend 3 damage
Let me
to
change your
give him a card here. You just don't attack. So, you know, solid play there. There's some card draw, but do you really want to play that? I'm not so sure that you do. Um, feels like maybe even lay on hands might be all right. But you might want to save that mana crystal because, like, if you Alistraza on your 9, you're playing into mind control on 10.
Yep.
So you might have to coin out that Alistraza. And if you coin out the Alistraza, you kind of have to have a pretty lame turn here.
Humility seems fine.
You got to play a little bit more than that, though. Maybe humility and then hammer on the 1/1.
I'm not so sure. It's like, I don't know. Like he will Alex Strauss and then probably lay on hands. You might even say, yeah, it's a weird turn, but it's alright to just humility your power, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Hammer just doesn't really cut it. It's, yeah, you use up your mana, I guess. But what do you try to find here? Oh, that's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Not bad.
That's like perfect.
That is actually perfect, I believe. I don't even know.
That's like the best card.
Paladin does have some pretty nice early game additions with the targeting restriction. They have the Argent Protector, which is considered a premium card in Arena, and I think we've seen some constructed play from it even.
I think this matchup in general is really interesting because I think Paladin and Priest might potentially be the strongest two classes. Not sure yet.
Mm-hmm. Are you flipping already from Druid? Druid's no longer the star?
Yeah, because yeah, if the trend is to just play slow control, then yeah, all your board clear is useless, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, we have Big Game, which doesn't really work yet, but if you had saved the Abusive, you could have been able to kill the 5/5 Repair Bot.
Repair board is pretty sick card as well.
It is, but the funny thing is, I don't think any other mechs are legal. So I think it can only buff itself, or perhaps something from a Recombobulator.
Maybe someone will get the dream of buffing another repair bot with the repair bot if you
Yeah.
just play 2 mechs.
Well, Lothar's got the double upgraded repair bot plus the double recombobulator. He is probably the most likely player to pull off the dream.
It's looking good for him, especially
It
with
is
the mind
very
control.
Right, right. And there's just no creatures that are really worth playing on Jondo's side of the board. That's kind of one of those things. I mean, you mentioned how Frost Elemental doesn't seem like a great card, but there's not many cards that he can actually be playing. I mean, if we look at his decks, he's got like Faceless, Spellbreaker, Dark Irons. It's all mid-range stuff. His entire late game consists of Alistraza and 2 Frost Elementals. That's as big as they get.
I really wonder, like, mind control seems just so strong. Like, I can't think of a deck that can rush down your opponent. Maybe Hunter, like the super weird Hunter, just because of the hero part. But Elven Archer is not really like a hardcore rush card.
Yeah.
And Farseer.
You also have the Shrinkmeister combos with Priest, which is pretty fun.
Oh man, the Wombo combo. Temple Fossa might be the strongest minion. It's like the stronger minion than that.
Maybe Vol'jin. Because with Vol'jin, you kind of trade one of their big minions and gain a big minion, right?
Oh,
Temple Enforcer just is a big minion. But yeah, it's about there. That seems to be about the ceiling of threatening minions.
It's so weird, right? Like all the minions seem so bad, and you have.
Do they? These minions were great, like not too long ago. They're still great in Arena.
This board is so weird.
I played Temple Enforcer in my BlizzCon deck.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
It's so weird, right? Because yeah, okay, way back you maybe played it in constructed, but on paper the card is really not bad. You just did this.
It's not overpowered, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of that's a problem. There's a lot of cards in Hearthstone right now that look on paper so great. Like Paladin looks so great on paper. A lot of like pro players say that. Like on paper, Control Paladin looks so good. Why is it not winning anything?
Yeah. All right.
Oh, man.
Well, if
Super
the
fast.
if the buffed Farseer survives, he can lay on hands it.
I wonder how many people are putting BGH in the decks. You really have to like know the meta, sort of like preemptively. Like,
Well, the Paladin deck has one. Oh, there we go! Mech on mech action.
oh baby, that's the mega dream. Like, can you have a? It can't be better than this.
It
one-
survives attacking
one-
Kings too.
How can you kill that thing?
Lothar has 2 BGHs in his deck, and Jondo has 1.
The Farseer is the strongest minion in the board.
Yeah?
You have to
8-8.
mind control that.
No, I don't think you do. I think you wait for a minion with a little bit more health.
Yeah, go Shrinkmeister that one.
Shrinkmeister is fine. A lot of the play and counterplay in Challengestone has to do with the fact that you know the limitations from both sides. So, suddenly you don't have to play around Consecrate. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal. But if we look at the board state right now, you'd probably be terrified of Consecrate. Alright, well we have probably a very similar turn from Jondo. He's able to Blessing a King's 1 minion, but it doesn't seem to matter that much. One play that I kind of see is perhaps Blessing a Wisdom on the 3-2 and killing the 1-1, and if he gets like a Divine Shield, suddenly the King's plus Divine Shield will be extremely powerful. He's not running any, what are those cards called? Is it Divine Protection or something?
I think it
One
is.
mana, give it a Divine Shield. I don't even know what that card's called.
You're the Jeoparino master here.
No, I don't think it's called. I think it's like Divine Shield or something. Anyway, but he does have the two Archer Protectors, so it could have been something there. All right, I was gonna go for it.
I just realized Jondo is actually a character, like a fighting character from a movie.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Oh, 1 card off on that one. Almost.
Oh man, easiest BGH of his life. Or not?
He can afford to take some damage, but now that he's targeted it, I mean, I guess that doesn't actually reflect anything, because I mean, basically every minion that can target something else.
Everything in the deck is dark.
Yeah.
But
Alright.
those Neon Hands, man, they're like very powerful.
They are very powerful, but the pace of the game so far has been very slow, so maybe they actually might become a liability in the fatigue game. Lothar, I think, has drawn 0 cards so far, for instance.
Wow, another like super strong Shadow Madness.
Yeah, you can again clear the board here.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Does Priest Priest has no card draw except Power Shield.
Yeah. Lothar is running the double power word shield, and yeah, there are no other cards with card draw in his deck. So I mean, sometimes that's okay. You just have to slow down the deck. It's kind of like a lot of the ramp druids. Their only draw was the Ancient of Lore, and often they didn't even need to use that because the deck was just naturally slow. But the problem is, the slower the deck, the less consistent it is on the opener. So it's a very tough balancing act.
Reynad always said that Power Shield is the strongest card in the game. What do you think about that statement?
No, there's better cards.
It's like you get 2 health for free. Sort of.
Sort of. Oh, there's Faceless. Faceless works really well with Blessing the Kings, by the way. It's too bad he's already burned.
Yeah,
but
like how strong is actually Faceless?
there's not many good creatures to Faceless, but if you have buffs, you can play a buff in Faceless, which is kind of like the old school combos. Right?
How many legendaries are allowed? Is it just Alexstrasza?
Well, on the penalty list alone, we have more than just Alistraza. Alistraza is on the penalty list, along with the Black Knight, which you can combo with maybe some of the Druid buffs.
Oh, yeah, Mark of the Wild Black Knight combo.
Yeah, you have Rend Blackhand, but there's really no dragons besides Alistraza. And then you have Hemet Messingwary, but I don't believe there are any beasts.
Oh, that would be so cool. Someone should man up. Oh, there's no beast. There's not a single.
Sorry.
Easy Faceless.
Yeah, very easy Faceless. It's too bad he doesn't have another BGH here. It would have been really, really
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah, the abusive switching in BGH combo. Because you will probably run Dark Iron Dwarf also in most
Yep.
decks. Pretty
Yep.
strong.
Suddenly the Paladin's looking pretty well. Lothar actually has no way of efficiently removing the 6/6 creature. He has to double trade.
This looks like balanced arena, so you can't really get any broken cards.
Yeah, not really. Temple of 3 cards. See, he can't even lay on hands.
Yeah, that's crazy, like how slow paced this is. Wait, how many cards does Lothar have?
He has to have.
Reporting for duty.
He can't have less than 4. I think
he
he
has-
has like 5 or 6.
But he has to top deck everything. I'm pretty sure he has still a death left in his deck. So if he gets like...
Yeah, I guess. Does Wait, doesn't he have death? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have Shadow or Death. He's
Wow.
just using the big game hunter combos.
That's weird.
Is
I
it?
think
I
death
think
is-
that's smart.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it's too much. Because usually, like, people tend to just play one death in their priest decks. I think it's wrong. Just because of Druid, mainly. Because, I mean, there's so many targets to death. But if you run BGH, you probably don't need it.
Actually,
I kinda
don't
like
even
it,
see BGH.
I kind of like death in this format. I mean, you have to play
No,
big
he's not
creatures.
running anything. No, he's not running BGH or Death in this priest. I just noticed that. It's basically like a beatdown priest.
Who needs removals as priest, man? It's overrated.
Yeah.
I must move quickly.
Changing the Challengestone meta.
All right. Well, lay on hands, pretty rough spot. Oh, but Recombobulator, that is a nice one. Oh man, I think I would have Recombobulated there. Because that 6/6 is not staying alive. But I guess the Recombobulator is just as effective on the Frost Elemental.
Will we finally see some RNG, man?
Alistraza, there we go.
Jesus, Alex, man. Like, it looked bad for him, but it's so difficult to... The whole time, it's so difficult to say who is actually leading. And it is actually Lothar with that Alex Raza out there.
Yeah, Jondo needs like a miracle Recombobulator.
Yeah, he's out of cards.
Well, if he
does
gets
he
like
need?
Leroy... Oh no, Leroy is fine. No, it wouldn't work.
No, like a Sentry Protector.
Whoa! That worked.
Oh yeah, you can cheat yourself with cards with this.
All
It's
right.
probably the best card in the format. Recombobulate.
Oh, lethal! There we go. Holy fire
Oh.
for the win.
Top deck
Again, guys,
anyway.
we are playing conquest format, so we will be seeing more of this paladin. But this priest is out. Lothar, alongside his priest, has the druid and the hunter. You kind of expressed a lot of favoritism for druid originally, and you kind of grew to like, you warmed up a little bit on the hunter, didn't you? There.
Yeah. And I don't like card draw anymore so much. If more games will go to fatigue, then it's bad, right? Like Lay on Hands was
Yeah. See,
kind of a bad card in that matchup.
It kind of helped him stay in the game on the first one, but the second one seemed pretty bad. Maybe one lay on hands is the way to go. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe we'll see Paladin come up again. Who do you see Paladin come up again? It's going to be Paladin once again versus the Druid, I believe it was. Yes, the Druid. So we basically saw every single card in the Paladin deck. The Druid has a few other fun cards as well. We saw Big Game Hunter. Lothar includes 2 Big Game Hunters in this Druid deck, probably because of all the buffs he can put on his opponents on top of the Abusive and Dark Iron combos. But an interesting card I thought was Black Knight kind of works, but also Recycle. You think Recycle's gonna... Oh, there it is! Look at that! Bam! Recycle boys.
But yeah, like when you... I don't think the players thought like in the beginning that most games will go to fatigue, but if the games will go to fatigue, then Recycle seems to be a very bad card.
Yeah, it does. Also because there's very few cards over 6 mana, so it's very difficult to get good value from it.
How good is the Recycle in Arena?
Terrible.
Terrible, so yeah, it should be terrible here as well, I guess.
Yeah. Alright, so here comes a Recombobulator. Generally, you don't want to Recombobulator a 3/2 creature, because the outcome of a Recombobulator is almost always going to be worse.
Oh.
See if that's the case here. It's not bad.
Yeah. Average, I guess.
Average. I like the Peacekeeper here for the tempo. Peacekeep the Recombobulator. Oh, he's doing the Shattered Sun. The Shattered Sun kind of works as well.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like the
Challenge accepted.
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
he's going for the farce here. Okay, okay. So kind of like a slow play. Seems Jondo might be a very controlling type of player, saving the maybe the more relevant cards against more powerful creatures.
I think I'm going back to Druid. I kind of like Druid again.
Yeah.
Because of the option of, I think Lothar is probably like the strongest card, just because you have the option to like
Draw
play
or
for
heal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, here we're going to see Deja Vu. Dark Iron on 4, buffing a creature to take down a Peacekeeper again. So Lothar's got to be feeling pretty good here. His 5-drop is only removal, so he's really just hoping that Jondo plays something that's worth
Yes.
removing. And I believe it's going to be Faceless.
Or the super combo, Abusive Kings.
Abusive Kings. But that
Six-
still dies. I don't know. I don't like that very much. The main reason to save the Faceless is to combo it with the Kings. What I kind of like is just Dude and then Shattered Sun the Dude. Because together they take down the 4/4. And if Lothar goes face, you can win with Abusive.
He runs BGH. I would actually, if I can save the Faceless, I would save it for Alexstrasza, because every deck will play Alexstrasza. It's the strongest card in the format. And then you can just Faceless BGH it.
Okay.
It's
I actually
very good
thought Alexstrasza was a little bit slow, but so far we have seen it in every single deck. So, yeah.
It's like just the strongest body. It's like,
But it always dies to BGH, and BGH is like good enough to play as a body, so really? I don't know.
yeah, but if you have two Alexstrasza,
Maybe.
it's like very old school type of play. Like in the beginning of Hearthstone, you like Faceless BGH Ragnaros was pretty common.
Recycle a 6-drop, that's the best you can hope for.
Now he draws it again. No.
No, not quite.
Is there spell power? In the, probably not, right? There's no spell power card with.
Spell power with target. There is spell power from Velen's Chosen.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
Other than that, I don't think so.
Let me
Yeah, I don't think so. You might get it from a Recombobulator or something like that. That would be it, though. All right. Nothing seems to really work too well here.
Yeah,
you call that
there you go.
Dark Iron and a guy.
duty.
Lothar's going to have a much better play than that with the Ancient of Lore. And there comes Alexstrasza. He can defend his board with swipe. You can also swipe and then do a tempo BGH, which doesn't seem like the worst thing.
I mean, the game mental fatigue. He knows the entire deck list from Jondo.
He knows the double kings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow! If he had the Dark Iron, he could have actually BGH'd the 4-attack creature there, with the Dark Iron abusive, then BGH on the 4. But now without the Dark Iron, there isn't much play,
Yeah, that hurts.
and the Faceless, which can be so strong, ends up being pretty weak just because he needs to stay on the board.
You can blessing an opponent minion, right?
Yes, you can.
I've-
Could have kings and BGH the Dark Iron.
I've never seen that. It's like,
Oh really?
I don't know.
I've lethaled someone before by kings on my Tyrion, BGH Tyrion, and kill him with the 5-attack weapon.
Sweet.
You gain an attack that way, you know? It works.
Oh my god.
Alright. Lothar playing very slow and meticulous, getting the most out of every single card. And he is winning, so I mean, that seems to be the way to play so far. Very good stuff. And another Recombobulator. He can recombobulate a dude to get a 1/1. I think that is worth doing. I think it's better
Yeah,
than...
that's not bad.
Yeah. Almost every 1-drop creature is better than a 1/1.
Actually, one drops are kind of underrated.
Shadow engulfs us.
Like before the what was the Drake called? Before they released the Drake, the Hungry Dragon.
Yeah.
Everyone thought the card would be broken, but
Yeah, but
actually,
They
one drops,
really ruin your day, right?
yeah, one drops are actually not so bad.
All right,
People
so
automatically think it's like most of them are 1/1s, but not true.
you were mentioning how the Stormpike Commando might seem like a bad card, but I think the Stormpike Commando may have been better than the Keeper of the Grove there, right?
Yeah,
Because when you have 9 mana crystals, who cares if it's 4 or 5 mana? You just
and you
want
have to
the
kill
effect.
it. Yeah, it's a strong body. Like
Maybe you
Lothar's
can
hand
put
looks
some
really
wisdom.
strong.
Yeah, Lothar has the option to Alistraza next turn.
Reporting for duty.
That's hard to stop.
It's so funny to see a druid that like with no pressure, like no combo or anything.
Just beat down.
She's just playing those keepers and attack.
All right. Well, he has the hammer and BGH here. Panda's also a very interesting card. Panda is not ranked very high in Arena because it's a low tempo card, but if you get to this stage in the game and all of your creatures have battle cry effects, Panda seems like a pretty good card.
Yeah.
And here we are with another Frost Elemental, another heal. It just feels like whenever you play Battlecry minions, you always have like a toolbox. You know, it's like, what do I want to do? So many options. Because you don't really need that much card draw if all of your creatures have effects, right?
Wow, this hand looks powerful now. Like he can do just so many good plays.
He can actually Alistraza his opponent and kill the 5/5 with the abusive.
He probably has to save it for healing. I don't
Does
know.
he? I don't know.
I would for sure go for word control. But even with 8 power on board, he's not really threatening lethal. Like to die. I would have went for the same play here. I think that's pretty good.
Challenge accepted.
And I would just re-divine shield it probably as well.
No, I think now you might want to play the Shattered Sun Cleric on the 2/2 to protect it from the attack.
Oh yeah, that's better.
I don't think you want to Divine Shield a 7 attack minion in this format. Not defensively.
Yeah.
That's what happens right there.
Yeah, he baits out the BGH and then he goes for the Alexstrasza and then how do you kill Alexstrasza?
Yeah.
The Mark of the Wild Black Knight.
See that? He kills the 2/2 for free. I think the Shadow Sun would have been a little bit better there.
Yeah, I agree. When you play a lot of Arena, you just think differently. Just because it's most of the time just minion trading.
Okay, well he is able to trade for most of these minions here.
Better to go face?
Yeah, I think if you go face, you set up for lethal.
I mean,
It's
he has to
unlikely
trade.
you're gonna die.
Because, like, you also put more pressure on your opponent and you force him to trade over anything else.
Alright, well he can Starfire and just tack into it with his 3/1 creature.
Of course.
Okay,
I must save
looks like he just wants to go for the biggest board. He wants board control, seems pretty good as the Paladin just survives off of its buffs, which just seem a little bit slow when his opponent plays so aggressively. So I think Lothar is playing this very well here, just denying the body turn after turn.
And as soon as someone seems ahead, like, the opponent still somehow deal. Like, so far, every hand was able to deal with the opponent's hand, sort of. That's why it goes to fatigue. Like, you have so many options, right? With almost everything, with every class. So many different types of removals, but the minions are bad.
I think the Peacekeeper there is pretty good, just to kind of put more pressure when your opponent's down at 18 and you really have to go for a kill soon.
Yeah, he has card advantage. You're not really scared of board clear, are you? Well, it's a druid.
Yeah, board clears can happen.
Starfall would be pretty devastating.
Well, Lothar has the silence, he has the wrath, he has the buff. I don't see a clear. I don't think he can clear. But I think
Kill
with the taunt effect, maybe he can just take over the board.
I wonder.
He could draw cards with the lore and taunt the lore up and clear a minion.
You know what's funny? I think Naturalize would have been a pretty good card in this format.
Yeah,
For no one.
but like a really good card. I think it's
Huge
a really-
tempo and win the
Alex
middle
Strasser
game.
naturalized. Best
Yeah.
combo.
And of course, without Innervate, none of those cards are really playable here. But Lothar's still sitting in pretty good position. Again, we see the Abusive Sergeant there. It just acts as a pretty good body.
Also, Swipe is such a good card.
Yeah.
But he has so many answers with like humility and stuff.
Follow the rules.
It's not answers though. They still get the body, and because both players are playing so many buffs, it's not really a great answer. Like, I think you have to go face here, but if you do that, you're gonna get like mega punished.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
I
my
don't think it's.
responsibility.
He feels like he has to, and then just I don't know.
Well, unless his next
I mean,
card is like
he saw-
This
he's
is
gonna
saw
my
two-
doesn't attack.
responsibility.
I mean, he saw two keepers, right? There's not gonna be a third silence in his hand, Kappa.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Druid can actually play 6 silences in this format.
Move quickly.
I think that's maybe a little excessive.
Oh, I wanna see later Stanziska runs Owl, because in DreamHack Bucharest he liked to tag Owl and Druid. And he was like the only player who did that. He likes the utility, so he's definitely going for the 6 silences.
Well, Owl is a bad card against heroes that have the 1 damage hero power, but it's a really good card against those that don't, because a 2/1 challenges every single 2-drop.
Get in there and fight, maggot. I've got the beast.
And there's the BGH combo once again. He can also silence his own peacekeeping effect off to push for some extra damage. He doesn't do that, but I believe with that play next turn he has lethal. And that's not... It's kind of hard to play around here. Jondo has the humility on the BGH, but is it enough? It doesn't look like it is. Oh, I wonder if you can humility attack to 0. Can you do that? Can you buff a minion with Dark Iron and then humility to 1, and then on his turn it goes to 0 attack?
I mean, he had the chance right now to try it.
No science? Oh my god.
That is such a cool
Isn't that
idea.
interesting?
It's super interesting. And he had the chance. He wasn't even curious.
Oh my god.
Like, when do we have a Dark Iron Dwarf humility guy? Against like 1 attack creatures.
Well, it's alright. Lothar does send him going. The Paladin deck is 0-2. It is conquest format, so you know, we kind of get to see the hunter now. You did present maybe some insecurity in the hunter deck, but you gain some confidence when you see how slow these decks are. So yeah, I think the hunter will be okay. We know healing is limited. We know the play is slow. So in those situations, you get a lot of hero powers, right? It can't be that bad.
Very strong performance by Lothar. Those decks
Yeah.
look very solid so far.
Yeah. I think Lothar did have a very good strategy. It's certainly something that I do whenever I try to practice some of these decks, some of these formats. I really just take a large part of the time at the beginning to think about what will be really strong. And I'm really happy to see that strategy succeed with Lothar. So coming up, let's just get into our next game here. This is game 3. Oh man, Paladin, 3rd time's a charm, I suppose.
Oh baby, that mulligan hand.
Oh, look at that Hunter's Mark Stormpike Commando. You don't even see that coming.
Smork. I wanna see him finishing the game with Stormpike Commando in your face.
Alright, well he actually has 2 Stormpike Commandos in his deck. And he's running a little bit more of an aggressive lineup. He has the Elven Archers in the deck for some additional 1-drop pressure. The Quick Shots, the Double Owl. We could have seen Houndmaster, I guess, but there's so few beasts. It's really probably just the Owls now that I think about it. It's probably not worth putting in.
That was always one of my favorite combos back in the days last year. Elven Archer Hunter Smite.
Okay. Yeah, well, it can work.
It was pretty good in the beginning when everyone played Leper Gnomes.
You might feel a little tingle.
Well, Jondo has what's considered to be the cheese in Arena here. This is the 2-drop followed by the Argent Protector. It's pretty hard to beat this, just because it's a really big tempo swing.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'd
so sick.
imagine, yeah, I'd imagine a format where board clears are limited, it's even more punishing.
This is such an anti-smork hunter. What is this?
Wow, he has the 3rd punish here. He has the Peacekeep effect.
Follow the rules.
That's like, and he has the Dark Iron Dwarf. That's like a perfect hand.
Yeah. But Lothar does have the pretty good counter in this case. He has the Elven Archer with the buff.
The pretty good count, and then he said Elven Archer.
I think that the defensive Hunter's Mark on the Peacekeeper may have been a good idea, because now you lose a minion for free again.
Yeah. Like,
Actually-
he's playing too quickly. Yeah. You really have to think about that, like how he will clear your board, and now he just gets a free trade, and then how do you kill it? His hand is like empty.
Well, now he's going to Recombobulator it, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Or heal, okay.
go for the. Oh, okay, that's fine, I guess.
It's alright. I just feel maybe the heal is pretty strong for face heal if things go really badly. But things are going really, really well right now.
I mean that.
Oh, okay.
Would you, I
Alright.
think that's not even wrong, right? I don't know.
Oh. Maybe Lothar doesn't have this. Maybe the Hunter is the weak.
Yeah, I think the hunter deck sucks. Like when I look at this.
Well, it might. It might. Jondo has a priest deck of his own, which is probably going to completely destroy a hunter deck, but he also has shaman. And coming into this, you mentioned shaman is probably your top pick.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if your top pick shaman can actually beat your bottom pick hunter. That'll be
Yeah,
the
and that's like where the conquest comes into play. Conquest is so punishing for bringing bad decks. It's like no other format is as punishing a conquest, because you have to win with your bad deck. It's not
Yeah.
like in the last Hero Standing you lose with your freeze mage, whatever, and then go next. But like you have
Yeah.
to win with this hunter, and I don't know.
I think Last Hero Standing wouldn't seem so fair in this format because maybe a druid or priest would just be so much more dominant than that 3rd class.
Yeah.
So if you'd lose like one of those mirror, you basically just lose.
No, I
Um,
like conquest for this because you have to build 3 good decks, and that's
Yeah.
like the challenge.
It's hard to get that good 3rd deck,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Maybe Hunter is a little bit better against the
Shall
rest.
bring victory.
Hunter versus Priest. A similar approach from Jondo with Priest. He does have a little bit more aggression. He's only running 1 Temple Enforcer, but he is running the double Shadow Word Death. But I believe he's not running BGHs either. So that's really interesting. He has an Ancient Brewmaster, which is a pretty fun card. It's really not that bad in this format if you're losing. Normally it's pretty bad because you lose on tempo, but you get the brew effect, and so far in this tournament we've seen a lot of cases where people are just playing the Dark Iron Dwarf on 4 mana just as a body. So the Ancient Brewmaster is just, a whole lot better than that. And here we go, look at that! Abusive Sergeant.
yeah.
You criticized it, but look at that. 1-drop tackles, 2-drop. All the 2-drops have 2 health.
I like the priest deck from Jondo. I think it looks very solid overall. Yeah, the thing about kill command, there's no beasts except Owl, right? Just in general.
Drink with me, friend.
And maybe some Recombobulator targets. Is Recombobulator in a Hunter deck? It is. Yeah, Recombobulator is very popular card so far in the tournament.
Also, like, yeah, later on you could heal Alexstrasza potentially and stuff like that.
The Hunter deck, I think, is the first deck that we've seen today that does not include Alistraza.
Man, again, Shadow Meta is such a sick card. Always
Yeah,
2 for
truly.
1.
And I think you can even do better than that because you're running all these buffs. So you can Shadow Madness like a 3-attack creature, Abusive Sergeant, and run it into a 5-health 5/5.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
And here we see the again the turn 4 vanilla Dark Iron makes some extra
Also-
appreciation for the Ancient Brewmaster.
I'm actually curious because he's playing only 1 Recombulator in the priest deck, and like we've seen it like in almost every deck, 2 copies of it.
Mm-hmm.
And priest, that is actually a strong priest combo, like the double Shadow Madness, double Shrinkmaster, double Recombulator,
Right.
and double Cabal. That's like a constructed deck. It's like really strong.
It is really strong, but it doesn't really develop that win condition. We still saw it struggle greatly against what is basically a pretty mediocre Paladin deck.
That is so funny.
All
Abusive
right.
Surgeons all the way.
Done.
Oh. All right. Yeah, Abusive Surge is working out really well. It is a 1-drop, but it trades up and it helps to trade up. 2 very important factors. Well, yeah, you can't really Faceless that. But Faceless, I think, is a good card in Priest. Priest is running buffs. Even if you get like a Power Word Shield on a creature, that makes it so much of a bigger creature. Being able to combo with that, or even better yet, a Velen's Chosen, is such a big deal.
Yeah. The number one problem really from Priest again. as you can see, is the-
I don't
the
think I would have
no
done that. I think I would have played the Silence.
Whoa! You just made the card so much worse. You just
Yeah,
killed
I
a
feel...
minion.
I
Nothing can-
feel like the doing that play with the Silence is a lot better because you want to hold the Dark Iron to help trade up in the future turn.
Yeah, I think that was really bad because against Priest, you know that Priest can't deal with 4 attack creatures. Like 4 attack creatures, especially in this format where you just play crappy cards.
Oh, now you have silences that you don't need.
I think, yeah, that was not really good. Like, how does a Priest
Oh
kill a
my
Dark Iron
god, there
Okay.
it is.
Stop decking in wreck.
And the priest still has nothing, but the card quality is significantly higher.
That is hilarious. Easiest spellbreaker of his life.
Yeah. Alright, I think
the
Lothar
thing-
might be a little bit on tilt here, actually. He's playing really, really fast.
There you can see that people like overvalue silence. Because just think about it, what do you want to silence? There's no Death Rattler creature that is allowed or... yeah, that's a thing already.
There are a lot of buffs, though.
Alright, this buffs, yeah, true.
I think I like the silence here.
Who expects the second spellbreak?
Your magic shall not save
Nobody. Yeah, nobody expects the second spellbreaker.
Sunwell.
Alright.
Kidding me?
Well, the 5 attack creature might get punished by one of those Shadow Word Deaths. One of the 2 Shadow Word Deaths in Jondo's deck.
It was so hilarious because he saw the naked owl and then this naked spellbreaker. and then he got punished by the third side.
Oh, combo!
Oh, mate. The tempo is real.
Oh, there's like no chance. Like, how do you win now,
Yeah.
Priest? Wow, that was amazing.
You need mind control here, at least.
Vol'jin, that doesn't really do anything. Do you stay alive? Yeah, you're at like 3 health, I believe, which is a pretty sad state to be in. You have to balance here. It's just like you don't actually have a board clear. You don't actually have a taunt.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
is that lethal?
Oh, that's up
It's-
next!
There it is. Lothar advances.
It's so great to see the top deck kill command. It will always work.
Well played.
Well, our qualifier is out of the tournament. So sad for Jondo. But Lothar does advance. Coming up, we'll have Just Saiyan versus Noxious. That should be a pretty good one there. I think we're going to take a little bit of a break, get these players set up. Again, if you guys, in the break, if you guys want to check out some of the offers from our sponsors, on one hand, we have 20% off the purchase of Amazon coins for Amazon this weekend. We're also giving away some Amazon promo codes. Make sure you guys check the underlay of the stream for that, and we'll be right back.